The Liebherr LTM 1750 is one of the largest mobile cranes made by Liebherr. Here it is in the colours of white crane hire, and in this configuration it's been rigged with a large luffing fly jib. This crane has been modelled in die-cast, and in this part 1 video we're going to look at a model made in the LEGO Technic type system. This is an MOC model, which means it's a my own creation, so it's been designed by a creator and not by LEGO or Liebherr. Even though the parts are plastic, the box is heavy because there are thousands of them. And on one end of the box we get a bit of a view of the LTM 1750 model. This box is not LEGO branded, it is actually branded Yo-Yo, and so this is made in China. So let's cut the tape and see what's inside. And as you can see, it is completely packed with parts. There's a bag containing a couple of tools, and then there are numerous separate bags containing pieces. If we dig a little, we can find something that's different, and that's a bag that contains books for building the model. And we'll take a good look at those in just a moment. The main colour scheme for the parts is red and black, so that gives you a clue that it's modelled after the Mammut version. And the box does contain Liebherr and Mammut stickers, in case you want to brand your model. Let's take a look at the building instructions, and that comes in the form of 2 books. These pretty much follow the drawings that you get out of a LEGO Technic design system. And there are step-by-step instructions which start with a few pieces, and then it goes on and on and on and on. So the first thing you can be sure of is that this is not a quick build. It is a complex model, and there's a lot to do to get it built. And what we saw there was just the first book, and here is the second, which is smaller and even fatter. The first thing to notice when we get the bags out is that similar parts seem to be together in the same bag, so that does make it a little bit easier to find the parts in the diagrams. But even so, there are many different parts, and when you begin, quite a bit of the time is spent actually finding the parts. If you're not familiar with a Technic type system, then it basically consists of standardised components which get combined together to produce a model. Everything is basically snap fit, and here are 2 pieces just as an example. Included with the set are a couple of tools, and you don't really need these to build the model, but they are useful to take things apart. And bear in mind, with thousands of parts to assemble, it's easy to put things in the wrong hole, and then you can use the tool to help get it out again. And actually it is worth having these tools because the fit of the parts can be really tight, but that's a good thing because it helps the stability of the model. So in this part 1 video we've just started the build, and here is the first part of it, which is the carrier cab. The scale of the model is not stated, but our 1:18 cranes etc. man seems reasonably close. The cab is nicely formed with some specially shaped pieces, and also it's got a little bit of functionality because you can open the cab doors. Also, in case you need it, you can adjust the angle of the door mirrors. So overall, it's a nice looking part of the build, and given this is only the carrier cab, it gives a first clue as to how large the model's going to be. Up on the roof of the cab, there are a couple of beacon lights. Also in this part of the build, we've started the main carrier structure, and that includes some of the mechanics of the model, including the drive to the driven axles. You can also see here the start of the steering system, and that includes the linkage between the 2 axles we've started to model. Turning this part of the model the right way up, we can see that we've installed a motor at one end, and we've also made up the V8 engine with its moving pistons. So that's it just for part 1 of this build, and in part 2 we'll take a look when the build is much further advanced.